Welcome to the channel. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Join me in today's video where I'll be unboxing a watch which we've all waited for. The announcement for this watch was a few months ago and there was also a few delays. These are of course the brand new releases from Seestern, and it's homaging a very popular watch from a very popular brand. Now before I go ahead, you might hear some background noise. That's because it's quite hot in the UK and I'm about to open the window, so you might hear some planes, people screaming, whatever the usual stuff. So let's crack both these watches open. Now, I actually haven't opened these watches, so this is going to be a full first impressions, as well as the usual specs, dimensions, etc. So finally, we have the seestern S430 in hand. Now, this watch was very much anticipated. I had you guys emailing me over these watches. I had you guys messaging me in the comments, when are they coming out? And I kept quite close communication with seestern on this one. And yeah, they had a few production delays, a few delays for the bracelet, but I'd rather they do those delays if that means everything that's going to come out is going to be in a-okay condition and just how they wanted it to come out. Now seastern are known for their really well execution. These are homage watches, so we can't give any props for design, but for sure I like to give props for how well the designs are executed, how well they're, let's just say, homaged. So yeah, these two watches, you guys clearly know what they're homaging. A very popular watch, and in fact it's one of the only watches from Tudor that came out, the Pelagos 39, which I actually considered purchasing. But now we've got a homage from Seastern. So in this video, it's just going to be an unboxing. I'm going to give you guys an overview of the specs, dimensions, as I usually do, and then I'm going to take it away, give it a few days, get it on wrist, and feedback with a full review, guys. And there's a few people out there which will purchase straight after the unboxing, and a lot of you guys actually prefer to wait for my overall review and my overall opinion of this watch before you go ahead and make that purchase. Yeah, so we've got both colors here. We've got a black, we've also got a blue. Now the blue comes in two different variants, specifically on the bezel numeration. So this is the fully marked bezel. You also have a bezel which only has markings up to the 15-minute marker. So two variants on there. You also get two different movement options. You get the Seiko NH38, which both of these watches are, and Season have also given us the Seagull ST2130 option, which is a high beat movement. It's a clone of the ETA 2824, if I'm not mistaken. The price difference between the two is minimal. So the NH38 version is £230, whereas the ST2130 is £250. Now, in terms of reliability of the ST2130, I can't really answer that. They were used a few years ago on quite a lot of watches, quite a lot of super clones that were coming out of China. So therefore, I think they're okay, but they do have the normal issues that you get from movements from China. It's just based on cleanliness, etc. And therefore, that does affect longevity and reliability in the long run. But with the Seiko NH38 movements, we know they are very reliable and robust, and this is the safest option that I'd go for. And it is NH38, so a proper no date, so no ghost position, which is going to be appreciated by everybody watching. Now, in terms of specifications, this is grade 2 titanium through and throughout, so case, bracelet, clasp, etc. Now, that means this watch is awfully light. So initially, as soon as I've taken these watches out the box, you just feel how light they are. Now, pros and cons with that, in my opinion. Thing with titanium, yes, it's a more exotic material. However, we subconsciously associate good weight with good watches. So titanium can kind of throw you off. It does give it a slightly flimsier feel on the bracelet. It's very difficult to get a very solid feeling bracelet on titanium. And also you have certain issues on bezels and crown threads, etc. So that's something I'm going to be looking at in the full review. But being titanium, what that also means, the watch is incredibly light, and this is coming in just under 100 grams. Which for a dive watch with a full steel bracelet, that's crazy, right? 99 grams this comes in out on my scales. So a very light watch. You've also got the usual specifications. You've got a sapphire crystal, you've got a brushed ceramic bezel insert, you've got screw down crown, screw down case back, giving you 200 meters of water resistance. So with regards to dimensions, very proportionate watch. It's got great dimensions. I don't know how close they are to the actual original watch. So the dimensions from Seaston are 39 millimeters at the case diameter, overall thickness of 12.5 millimeters, and a lug to lug of just under 47 millimeters. Lug width of 20 millimeters, and the bracelet does taper down to 16 mil at the clasp. Clasp is your folded milled clasp, screw-in links. So yeah, it is built really well. Looking at some of the finishing that you see here, bearing in mind it is titanium, so the definition after that finishing isn't going to be the same as you find on steel, but you've got brushing, but you've got circular brushing, um, sort of polished highlights, and that's awesome to see that on titanium. And you've got some brushing on the side, very smooth and soft. And in hand, I'm very impressed with what they've been able to produce. Now, I did see a full review on the Pelagos. As I said, I wanted to purchase it, and I can see already in hand that they've done a couple of subtle things which the Pelagos actually did. And one of them being is a very subtle sunray pattern on the dial. And you can see on this black dial, you can see a very subtle sort of sunray, and you've also got this sunray brushing on that bezel instead, and that's very important. Going back to, as I said, the execution needs to be spot on, and I'm glad to see they've actually captured that, and it looks brilliant. Now, I don't want to say too much, obviously, just to unboxing. Let's give you guys a quick overview of the one in blue. I want to keep some of these ideas or things I'm seeing to myself right now before I get these watches on wrist, and yeah, wear them over the week, etc. Now, let's have a quick look at the bezel. Yeah, as I said, titanium is a tricky material. Now, usually on titanium watches, I find that the bezel action is too rough. It's a little too stiff. And on this one, it's the opposite. It's just a little too light. But you do have just a touch of that roughness if you just really rotate it slowly. Go a bit faster, yeah, it does move. But it is quite a light rotation. I mean, the bezel doesn't actually move or anything, but it's quite tricky. I mean, the best rotating bezel on titanium watch I've had to date was a Steinhardt, I think the 500-meter one titanium, and that was awesome. So bezel's okay, not quite to my liking, but you have to understand that is the material there. It's got some signage on the crown, and overall it looks great. So I think I'm going to stop here, guys. I'd love to carry on, but as I said, I want to get this on wrist and, you know, do this watch its full justice, and also give you pros and cons. So here we have both colors. Which one do you think looks nicest? I prefer the black, and that is the one that I'm going to actually wear on wrist and test out. So that's it for me today, guys. Hope you enjoyed it like always. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next video.